There was this boy who had a bad tempered problem. Whenever he thought somebody said something or did something or did not do something which he appreciated, he would react with anger and say some really nasty stuff and get into problems. His father was quite fed up with all this and was thinking what to do, and he came up with this idea. So he told the boy that every time in future that you lose your temper and say something nasty, you see that wooden fence we have on the yard, take this nail and hammer it into the fence. So every time you say something really bad, go hammer a nail and come back, that's all. So this guy didn't understand, but he said okay, so I'll do what dad said. So every time he would get angry, he would say something bad. After that, like he promised, he would take that nail and go hammer it onto the fence. And as time went by, this was really painful to go and hammer it and come back and every time do that. So he found that he became a little more tolerating about things, and slowly the need to go and hammer came down significantly. So he called up his dad and said, "Dad, I think I'm getting better, I'm able to manage this better, so I don't need to hammer it so many times." So his dad said, "Good. Now every time you manage to control yourself, okay, please go to that fence and pull out one nail which you had hammered earlier." Okay, so he was excited. So every time he would control himself and not say anything, he would go and pull out that nail from that fence. And after some time, all the nails were out. Feeling very, very jubilant, he called his dad and said, "Dad, look, all the nails are out." So his dad said, "Well done, son. But you will notice that there are a lot of holes left on the fence now. It's permanent. It's like that when you say something very angrily to people. The hurt is permanent. It can't go back to the original self. The scar stays. Whatever you do, you go back and say sorry to that person because you said something in anger. The scar and the hurt stays. It can never go back to the earlier state. Be careful. Be careful of what you say when you are angry. Working with people with anger management problems, I realized one thing: all of them understand that that's not the good thing to do. Okay, and why you see around and you see examples of people who have spoiled their career, ruined their career, stalled, primarily because of not able to control what they say in anger with a colleague or a senior. Relationships damaged, spoiled irreversibly because things were said in anger which actually they didn't mean. So many of these cases. So the point is, they all know it's not a good thing. That why don't they fix it? The fixing, when we have to understand the fixing part, there are two things that we must know. One is the why of people find it difficult to fix, and then of course the how. Okay, let's look at the why. One of the things I realized of why people don't want to change, and think about this, what I'm saying now, that anger, that moment of anger when they are in terrible rage and wanting to say something is the time when they feel the most powerful. They feel that they are strong. They are going to say things to somebody. Okay, it doesn't matter who's in front. It could be a senior, it could be a loved one, it could be any. For that moment, they feel dominating, strong. The thought that they will and can live without this anger moment is sometimes scary for them, because they will lose that moment where they felt powerful. Think about this, because this is something which you may not immediately agree, but think about this. What is happening to you? Think about that. The how part, how to fix it. There are a lot of anger management courses around, and no, we are not going to talk about that. You can Google, find that out. But there is one thing I want to share what I used to do and still do. Okay, and that is to look at things from the other person's point of view. Just take a few seconds. Just take a few seconds and look at it from the other person's point of view. Say, for example, you're called up a call center to complain about some delivery of something you ordered and you not got it, and you felt that that guy who picked up the phone and was talking to you was a little rude. Your first instinct is to tell him, is to yell at him and say, look, I deserve to be served better, politely, etc., etc. But if you take a few seconds and for a minute think, why is he behaving like that? Did he have a bad day? Did he fight with his spouse before coming to office, coming to his work? Maybe it's not his problem, it's that company's training issue. They have not trained these people well. I mean, you can figure out something on his point of view, and that will help you calm down. I'm not saying that you need to justify what he's doing. You still need to be assertive, insist on what you want, politely, but with a little bit of compassion now. Replace anger with compassion. Think about it. Compassion also is a very powerful, or let me say, empowering emotion for us. When you're kind to somebody, you feel good. That's the only emotion I can think which can replace the power of a momentary anger. Yeah, so both these things which I said, just think about it and see what you can do with this in your own anger management. All we need to do is to just think back, all of us in our lives. Haven't we ever, looking back, said something nasty to somebody we loved? So, didn't we hurt somebody very close to us in the past? Finally, I must say that, that person might forgive you, but that hurt, that pain of the sharp words that you said, she can never forget. Yeah? So take care of what you say. It's probably the most toxic thing that happens to us and makes us out of control at that moment. Till next time, stay unstoppable.